Good afternoon to all. So we will have exponential and logarithmic functions today. And let me start by defining what an exponential function is. What's the difference between a power function and an exponential function? A power function is a function of the form x to the n. So like x squared, x cubed, x to the 10, where the base is the independent variable, while the power or exponent is a constant. Now, for an exponential function, it is the base that is the constant, while it is the power now that is variable. So let's define. An exponential function with base b is a function of the form f of x equals b to the x, where b is a constant. Of course, it's a real number, excluding those values that are negative. Why? Because if we have negative values, the exponential function itself may not be defined. For example, if we have a 1/2 for an exponent, which is just the square root, we know that the square root is not defined when the number inside is negative. So to avoid that, we restrict b, the base, to values greater than 0. We also exclude b equals 1. Why? Because if this is 1, then 1 to the x is always 1, and thus, instead of being exponential, technically, it will be a constant function, which we have discussed before. So again, it's a function of the form f of x equals b to the x. Let's have some, okay, example where we sketch the graph of an exponential function. So this is an exponential function to the base 2. F of x equals 2 to the x. Now, to sketch the graph of an exponential function, the best way to go would be to use point-by-point plotting. So I have made the table here. Values of x, the independent variable, ranges from -3 to 3. And so we have the corresponding y values there. So for example, if x is 2, then we just plug in here. 2 to the 2 is 4. When x is -1, 2 to the -1 is 1/2. 2 to the -3 is 1/8. And of course, any number raised to 0, 2 to the 0, always equals 1. So given those values, they are just ordered pairs which we can plot on the Cartesian plane. And by simply connecting those points by a smooth curve, we obtain the graph of that exponential function as follows. So that's the graph of the curve whose defining equation is y equals 2 to the x. And the points we have here are actually there on the Cartesian plane, like 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 4, and so on, and then -1, -1, +1/2, -2, 1/4, and so on. And then we just connected the points to obtain the graph of the exponential function. So let's solve an exponential equation, because majority of the questions in the coming quiz will be on exponential and logarithmic equations. So let me just insert one example here before we move on to the logarithmic function right away, and then I will just be giving a lot of examples or illustrations on solving logarithmic equations and exponential equations. So let's just try 1. So consider that equation there, 4 to the x plus 1 equals 8 to the x squared minus 1. We are to find all values of x that satisfy that equation. So you can do trial and error, but of course, that is not a reasonable way to do it. You might not even end up coming or getting the answer or answers themselves. So instead, we use an algebraic approach, and by observing both sides of the equation, we see that the bases can be both expressed as powers of 2. 4 is 2 squared, 8 is 2 cubed. So doing just that, so we have written 4 as 2 squared here, 8 as 2 cubed here, and don't forget that those numbers are raised to the corresponding exponents. And by the law of exponents, we know that if we have an exponent within an exponent, we simply multiply those exponents. If I just quote that, in general, we have a to the m quantity raised to n equals a raised to quantity mn. In other words, you just multiply the exponents. So we multiply 2 by x plus 1, 3 by x squared minus 1. We get the following. 2 to the 2x plus 2 equals 2 to the 3x squared minus 3. And notice now that we have the same base on both sides. And that means to solve this equation, all we have to do is equate their exponents. If their exponents are equal, then the expressions are also equal. So doing that, we have 2x plus 2 equals 3x squared minus 3. And notice that from an exponential equation, we have converted it to simply just a quadratic equation, which you already know how to solve. So we collect all terms on one side. We have that quadratic equation, which can be solved either by the quadratic formula or by factoring. And it is factorable, so we take that approach. We have this. So just verify that the factorization there is correct. So by the way, we assume that you already have a knowledge of factoring quadratic terms, okay? So that means all we have to do now is to simply equate each factor to 0, getting the solutions x equals -1 or x equals 5/3. In fact, you can try to substitute back those values into the original equation and verify that they do satisfy the equation. Now, let me go right away to logarithmic functions, since later on we will be just doing a lot of exercises, and also to review you as well and prepare you for the coming quiz, which is, of course, still a long way. It will be, I think, scheduled on the 2nd week of January, or let me check, okay? But we still have 1 week in January to have classes, I think 2 days. So we will try to use those sessions to review you on or for the coming quiz. So let's have logarithmic functions. Definition. Okay, before I read the definition, I want you to first understand that the logarithmic function was formulated as a way of reversing the exponential function. Just like your square root was discovered or invented or designed so as to undo or reverse the squaring operation, and so on. So how does the logarithmic function work? Let's have the definition first. The logarithmic function with base b, or sometimes to the base b, or just logarithmic function base b, where similarly to the definition of exponential functions, b is greater than 0, b is not equal to 1, is the inverse of the exponential function with base b. So that's the main definition of the logarithmic function. It undoes the exponential function, and in fact, the exponential function will also undo the logarithmic function. And for a convenient notation, we use the following symbol. We denote it by y, okay, equals logarithm read as to the base b of x, or logarithm of x to the base b. And mathematically, it means the following. We say that y is the logarithm of x to the base b if and only if it satisfies the following exponential relation or equation. X equals b to the y. In other words, we define the logarithm in terms of the exponential. So what does this statement mean? So it means that, okay, if you look at this one, this thing here, this quantity here means the number to which I should raise the subscript, which is the base b, so that I will get this number here. For exponentials, we raise it to an exponent, like 2 cubed is 8. Okay? We multiply 2 to itself 3 times. Now, I want to undo that. Now, instead of wanting to know the result of raising to an exponent, we want to know what the exponent is to which I should raise 2 to get 8. Instead of evaluating 2 to the 3 is 8, I want to know what is the exponent to which I should raise 2 to get the number 8. So I get back to the exponent 3. And that's what the logarithm does. This is, again, by definition, the number to which I should raise b to get x. And if we denote that number by y, then if I raise b to y, I get x by definition. Now, if you want to convert from logarithmic form to exponential form, it's very easy. You just draw arrows in either counter or clockwise or counterclockwise direction. So we do it like this: b to the y equals x, which is this one. Or sometimes you can do it like x equals b to the y. So again, note that the exponential and logarithmic functions undo each other, so that we have the following identities. We have, upon application of the exponential, then the logarithmic, we have, or we just return to the original input number. In other words, if I raise a number to b, then take the logarithm of that to the base b, I get back to the number. So logarithm of b to the x, base b, if you have the same bases, you get simply x. Similarly, the other way around, if I first take the logarithm to the base b of a number and then raise that to b, I get back to x. b to the logarithm of x to the base b equals x. So please take note of those two identities. They are very important later on when solving logarithmic equations and simplifying logarithmic expressions. Let's just take a look at the graph before we have some illustrations. Now, we can obtain those graphs there by simply reflecting the graph of the exponential function, if you still remember, with respect to the line y equals x, if you've read the, watched the video, or if you attended the synchronous session. Now, the graph of the exponential function a while ago was something like a graph that crosses the y-axis at 1 and extends indefinitely in the positive y direction. Something like this. If you still remember the graph a while ago of 2 to the x. Okay, it increases and grows without bounds. And if you try to reflect that with respect to the line, as I will show later with a particular example, you will get the graph of the corresponding logarithmic function. And this happens when the base b is greater than 1. It is increasing. And if the base is less than 1, the graph will instead be decreasing, since the corresponding exponential function is a graph that goes something like this, in this way, if you follow the cursor there. And if you try to reflect that with respect to the line y equals x, you will obtain this graph. So let me just again take note that the graph of the logarithmic function is increasing for values of b greater than 1, this case, and then decreasing for values of b less than 1, this case. And also note that whether b is greater than or less than 1, the graph will always cross the x-axis at 1, just as actually the exponential function crosses the y-axis at 1, since any number raised to 0 is 1. And both are observed asymptotic with respect to the y-axis. This one in the negative y direction, this one in the positive y direction, just as the exponential function actually is asymptotic with respect to the x-axis. So consider the graph of logarithm x base 2. To obtain the graph of that, we will reflect the graph of 2 to the x, which we obtained a while ago, with respect to the line y equals x. Now here's the graph we obtained a while ago, y equals 2 to the x. So we reflect that with respect to the line y equals x, we obtain the graph of logarithm x base 2. Or you can simply just interchange the coordinates. Remember, the coordinates of one is obtained by interchanging the coordinates of the other if they are inverses. So for example, this is the point 0, 1 for the exponential. So the point 1, 0 would be a point on the logarithm or the logarithmic. And 1, 2 here. So 2, 1 for this one. 2, 4 for the exponential. So 4, 2 for the logarithmic. Here, we have negative 1, 1/2. So 1/2, negative 1 for the logarithmic. And we connect those points. And the result are graphs that are symmetric with respect to the line y equals x. However, I don't think there will be graphing of exponential or logarithmic functions in the quiz. In case there will be, don't worry, I will hold review sessions on those topics. So now let's go to illustrations that help us better understand how logarithms work. So for example here, consider 3 to the 4. We know that's 81. This is an exponential. We raise 3 to 4, we get the result 81. Now, how do we undo that? Now, we undo that by taking the logarithm of this result to this base to get the exponent. So the logarithm is actually an exponent. So if you look at this, log 81 base 3 equals 4. This means that the number to which I should raise the input here, 81, to this base. What should I raise 3 to get 81? We know that's 4. So the value of log 81 base 3 is 4. Now, what's the logarithm of 1 over 8 base 2? It simply means the number to which I should raise 2 to get the number 1 over 8. And we know that's negative 3 because this is the reciprocal of 8. Again, since 2 to the negative 3 is 1 over 8, that means log 1 over 8 base 2 is negative 3. Now, to switch from this form to this form, you can just simply draw arrows like this. 2 to the negative 3 equals 1 over 8. Again, what's the logarithm of 2 to the base 4? Think of a number to which you should raise 4 to get 2. We know that's the square root, so that's 1/2 as an exponent. So the answer is 1/2. Again, since 4 to the 1/2, which is square root of 4, is 2. Now, how do we convert this to logarithmic form? X equals 10 to the y. Now, first you have to determine which is the base. The base is 10, and which is the exponent, that is y. So that means your base here should also be 10 for the logarithm, which is not written since it is base 10. It's understood, okay, if the subscript is not written to be in the common base, which is 10. Later, we'll have the natural base, which is e, or the natural number. And then y, the exponent now, will be the result. Okay, here, x is the result because this is an exponential. But since this is now logarithmic, y is now the result. So x now, the previous result, will be now your input number. And again, we can verify that. Imagine the number 10 here. Raise it to y, you should get x. This one, in logarithmic form, let's convert it to exponential form. So we go like this. 7 to this equals this. So 7 to the a equals b, or b equals 7 to the a. Any questions so far? Okay, let's evaluate this. Of course, I already wrote the answer. But what's the logarithm of 2 to the n to the base 2? It's n. Why? Since the logarithm and the exponential are inverses, that means we are simply undoing the operations here. So we get back to n. Notice this is exponential base 2. This is logarithm base 2. So you undo what you have done first. So you get back to n. Or simply, you can think of it this way. This is logarithm base 2. So what number should I raise this to get this one? Obviously, I raised 2 to n. So that's n. I hope you're not confused. Now, the other way around, this again is just undoing what you have done here. You're first getting the logarithm to the base 3 and then raising it back to 3. So you should get back to the input number 6. Okay, 3 to the logarithm of 6, base 3 is 6. When the logarithm, the base of the logarithm and the base of the exponential are the same, you get back to the input number. Okay, for example, 6 and 7. Same base. 2 here, 2 here, 3 here, 3 here. So is there any question on those before we proceed? Okay, I think I made a programming error here. It was okay a while ago. Well, anyway. The number there is supposed to be 3 over 2. This should be 3 halves. But anyway, okay, let's just imagine that for now. Logarithm of x to the base 4 is 3 halves. Not 3, okay? There's an over 2 here. Now, how do we solve this logarithmic equation? We write it back in exponential form. Since we are not used to thinking in terms of logarithms, we write this in exponential form because we are used to thinking in terms of exponentials or exponents. So we rewrite it. So we have 4 to the 3 halves equals x. Okay? This is 3 over 2 on the right. So 4 to the 3 over 2 equals x. And this is exponential in form. And actually, once we've done that, we have already solved the problem since it gives us x. However, we better simplify. So this is to the 3 over 2. So the denominator there is a root. Index 2. So it's a square root of 4. And then this is an exponent. So raise that to 3. So 2 cubed is 8. Next. Can you try to convert this in exponential form? Try to write it down on a piece of paper and verify that it's the same as with the solution here. So let's read first. logarithm of 1 over 27 to the base x equals negative 3/2. The difference of this problem is that the unknown is the base. So anyone has an answer? Just send it in the chat box. Just the, not the answer, but just the equivalent form in exponential. Nothing yet? Anyone has an answer? I know that perhaps some of you are not listening at all, but we have to proceed anyway. Okay, let's see. Somebody gave an answer. Are you? Okay. X is that you wrote it as 2/3 when the problem is negative 3/2. You almost got it. Okay, let's see. So this one, we write as follows. You start with the subscript, then raise it to the result here, and equate it to the input number here. So we have x to the negative 3/2 equals 1 over 27. That's the equivalent form. However, this is not as direct as the previous one. So how do we solve this one? How do we get x out of that? X to the negative 3/2 equals 1 over 27. How do I get x? Do I do some trick? Not really. Now note that the exponent here is negative 3/2. In order to get x, I must get a 1, since x to the 1 is x. So if I can make this 1, then I'm done. So how do I do that? As follows. I raise both to negative 2/3. Why? So notice that if I do that, I would in effect be making the exponent now here on the left-hand side 1. I simply took the reciprocal of this and raised both sides to that. Okay, I raised the left-hand side to negative 2/3. I raised the right-hand side to negative 2/3. So this should be an equal to. And after this line, what will happen is that this will become x. Why? Negative 3/2 times negative 2/3 equals 1. They are reciprocals. You multiply the exponents. If there's an exponent within an exponent, you'll get this. X to the 1 on the left-hand side. So it remains to simplify the right-hand side. And to do that, notice here, we converted first 27 to 1/3. And then to 3 to the negative 3. Right? 3 to the negative 3 is 1 over 27. Why did I do that? So that that power will cancel out with this power. So if we multiply negative 3 to negative 2/3, then we have 3 canceled out and we'll be left with negative, negative, positive. So we're left with 2. 3 squared. So that's 9. Well, the good thing here is that actually, since you're allowed to use your calculator, you could just like evaluate this using your calculator. But at least I want you to understand how the thing can be arrived at manually without a calculator. Okay? Next. Let's solve this one. logarithm of the fifth root of 27 to the base 3 equals x. Now, we're solving for x. So actually, what we're just doing here is evaluating this one. Now, you might say, then we could have just say evaluate this. Well, when you evaluate it without the use of a calculator, you will still have to equate this to x. Of course, if you have a calculator, there will be a way to get this. If you have base 3 for your logarithm, although some calculators don't have base 3, but there's a way, which will be taught later on, if it will be included in the quiz. So let's convert this to exponential form. That's why we equated it to x. Since we are not used to thinking logarithmically, so let's think exponentially. So we set this equal to x. So convert 3 to the x equals this. Let's write that. Okay? So we have that here. 3 to the x equals fifth root of 27. Now, we first simplify fifth root of 27 so that it has the same base as this, since we know that 27 is a power of 3. But first, we write 27 as raised to 1 over 5, since 1 over 5 is the same as the fifth root, index 5. And then 27 is 3 cubed. And then loss of exponents. We multiply the exponents now. 3 times 1 over 5. So we get this. 3 to the x equals 3 to the 3 over 5. Again, obtained by multiplication. Now, they have the same base, so we equate the exponents and we're done. Okay, x equals 3 over 5. So that means the logarithm of the fifth root of 27 to the base 3 is 3 over 5. Do you have any question? Just unmute your microphone in case. Okay, next. Let's read the equation. 1/2 times the logarithm of x equals 3. Now, by the way, if you want to watch this video again, you can just pause and try to do it first yourself, and then just verify by watching the video, playing the video again. So first, what base is this? Since there is no base there, automatically, that's base 10. So if you want, you can just put the 10 there back and then convert this to exponential form. But since there's a factor here, we try to put it first on the other side by multiplying everything by 2. Okay? Multiply both sides by 2, you get this. Since you cannot do it right away, you cannot convert this right away in exponential form, since there's a 1/2 here. So get rid of that. Multiply by 2. Now we can do it in exponential form. So this is 10, write 10 there. So 10 to the 6 equals x. And x is solved. And in numerical form, 1 million. Okay? No question? Okay, that's it for today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.